Alright, so hello everyone. We are now on our next topic for our first exam. So on your syllabus, if you can see after the basic algebraic expression and also your sim, if you can see there that after basic algebraic operations, the next topic would be about the index laws. Alright, so for index laws, by the way, once again, I am your instructor and I'm going to present to you our topic for today. So, index laws are the rules for simplifying expressions involving powers of the same numbers. So, we don't know what indices are yet, no? Saan ang index? Anong index, sir? So, indices is the plural. So, the expression 2 to the power of 5 is defined as follows. 2 raised to 5 or 2 to the power of 5 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 5 times. Okay? And we call 2 as the base. So 2 here is the base and 5 here is what you call the index. So in other terms or in other words, 5 there is the index or the exponent. Index or exponent. Now let's talk about the laws of indices. Now we have six laws of indices. The first rule or the first law is a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So any number, okay, the first law is that any number raised to 0 is always equal to 1. Okay, so 1 raised to 0, that's 1. A plus B plus C plus D, the quantity of that raised to 0 is equal to 1. Alright? Any number except 0 is always equal to 1 when raised to 0. Okay? As you can see sa example, 2 raised to 0, that is equal to 1. 3 raised to 0, that's 1. Okay? For the next rule, so if you can see here sa next rule, A raised to the power of negative n is just equivalent to 1 over am. Okay? Here is an example. So 2 raised to negative 2 or that would now be equal to ibaba natin yung may negative exponent. So magiging 1 over 2 squared or that is equivalent to 1 to the power or 1 fourth. Okay? So 2 negative 2, that's 1 over 2 squared or 1 fourth. Okay, for rule number 3, we have here a raised to m multiplied by a raised to n. So in this rule here, that's equivalent to a to the power of m plus n. So bali, if multiplied siya, you're just going to add the indices. Okay, let's say for example, simplify 5 multiplied by 5 cubed. So take note that the exponent of 5 here is 1. Right? 5 raised to 1, that's still 5. Multiplied by 5 cubes, so that's equivalent to 5 raised to 1 plus 3. Okay, so that's 5 raised to 4, or if you calculate that, that's equivalent to 625. Okay, let's say for example, another example is 3 squared multiplied by, okay, as long as the base is the same, okay, you can add or you can multiply. Okay, so you can multiply this one since the base is the same. You have the answer as 3 raised to 2 plus 4, that is 6. Okay, so that's equivalent to 3 multiplied by 3. Okay, that's 9, 27, 81. So 3, 3, 9, 27 times 3, 81 times 3. That's 3, 8 times 3. 243, I think, times 3. So to make sure, let's use calculator. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Yes, so that's 729. Okay, this is the third rule of indices or the third law of indices. Okay, now let's go with the fourth rule. Okay, now let's go with the fourth rule. So let's say, for example, we are going to divide having the same base, so a raised to m divided by a raised to n. So that would be minus, no? So a to the power of m minus n. So to divide expressions with the same base, basta same po yung base, okay? Dapat same yung base. Okay, for example, 3 raised to 5 divided by 2 raised to 6. So they are not, or they do not have the same base. So you cannot uh, divide them, okay? So this example here, 5 times y to the power of 9 divided by y to the power of 5. So they have the same base, right? Y. So that's 5. And then multiplied by y raised to 9 minus 5. Since again, according sa rule, pag same base, you're going to subtract the indices. Okay, so that's 5y raised to 4. Okay, once again ha, if you have 2x 6 divided by 3y 5. So the bases are not the same, so therefore you cannot you cannot divide. Okay, so you can divide if they have the same base. Let's same earlier. So 5 x 6 divided by let's say for example same base. Okay, x 7. What if ganyan? So magiging 5. If we are to rewrite that one, okay, x7. Okay, so 5x 6 minus 7. So that is 5x raised to negative 1. And then remember that once again, according to law number 3 or law number 2, so any exponent which is negative, you put it down. So which means that that would be equivalent to 5 over x. And this is your final answer. Okay? All right. So next rule, if it's this one, to raise an expression to the nth index, copy the base and multiply the indices. So kanina, uh, this one is different because this one is raising to the power of the nth index. While earlier, you are going to multiply the same bases with different indices. Okay? So to further explain, yung kanina po kasi is a 6 multiplied to a 5. So that is a11 because you are going to add. Now they have the same base a, but this rule here, rule number 5 or law number 5, that is a raised to 6. Then you are going to raise it by 5, which makes it a raised to 30. So multiply 6 and 5. So this is your final answer. Okay, another example here, y squared raised to 6. That's just equivalent to y raised to 12. Okay, and for rule number 6, this one is the last rule, which is quite confusing, but it's not. Okay, do not be confused. So a raised to m over n is just equivalent to the nth root of a raised to m. Or it can also be the same as the nth root of a, then raised to m. So the quantity of nth root of a raised to m. So for example, simplify 125 raised to 2/3. So if you are to rewrite that one basing sa rule, so you can say that it is equal to the third root. So the third root, diba? N is 3. Okay, N is 3 here. And the third root of your base, which is 125, that's your A. And then your M is 2. Okay, so what is the third root of 125? That is 5. Okay, and then squared, 5 squared is 25. All right, let's say for example, we have a raised to 1/3. Okay, so how are you going to simplify that one? So your n here is 3, right? And your base is a. So the third root of a raised to 1, or that is equivalent to the third root of a. Okay, simply just this one. Okay, another example. The third or for example, 4 raised to 1/2, or ano na, 3/2 na naman, no? Paulit-ulit na lang 1/2. So your n here is 2, so that's the square root. So simply square, or pwede nang hindi lagyan, di ba? The square root, that's easily understood if you do it like this. The square root of 4 cube. Okay, that is equivalent to 2 cube. That's 2 times 2, 4 times 2, that's 8. All right? Or you can also do this one. Now, the square root of 4 squared. Okay? So 4 times 4. Sorry, this is cube. Sorry. This is cube. No? Your n is cube. So 4 cube. So 4 times 4. 16 times 4, 64. So what is the square root of 64? Is 8. So they are the same, right? So either this way or this way. So we have proved that the sixth rule of index or indices is correct. So this one and this one, they will arrive at the same answer. So for more examples, please try to solve numbers 1 to 10. This will be your activity for today, August 28, 2020. Okay? All right. So please submit it, or please write it in a clean sheet of paper, then scan or take a picture of your answers. Make sure to box your final answers. Make sure to box your final answers and make it neat and clean. Okay? Your final answer should be boxed. All right? Once again, submit it on the time na mag-end inyong class. Okay, for example, you are in my class 2:30 to 3:30, submit it today until 3:30. Or, okay, so let's just extend the deadline. So for example, uh, you are under me on 2:30 to 3:30, so you will submit it until Saturday, no? 2:30 until Saturday 3:30. All right, so further instructions will be posted in Blackboard. So please answer just this one, okay? Just this page here, uh, 1 to 10. So thank you for listening. I hope you have understood our lesson for today. Thank you and bye-bye.